So if you have to solve a rational equation like this, your first goal should be to get the variable out of the denominator position. You can never say x equals something until it's out of the bottom of a fraction. You can never get x by itself if it's right here in the bottom of a fraction, so you got to first get rid of that. That's done by multiplying everything by something that's going to be in common so that all these will cancel out. What that something is, well, first, you should always factor if you can. And right here, I recognize this to be something that can be factored because you can divide an x out of everything in that expression. So let's rewrite it in factored form. And now that it's factored, the number that we're going to multiply everything by, well, the term we're going to multiply everything by is x, parentheses, x minus 3. And the reason for that is because, well, when you multiply one thing in an equation, you always have to multiply everything by that thing. And I picked this out because I saw this is in common with everything inside this equation, okay, all these bottoms. So the first step is going to be x minus 3 times this. When you multiply those are going to cancel out. Then when you multiply to the middle term, that's going to cancel out. So again, your fraction is going to disappear. When you multiply to this term, the whole thing is going to make it cancel out. So again, your fraction's gone. So let's go ahead and carry through that multiplication. Let's multiply these guys. This is going to cancel out. It's going to leave us with just 3x. But we had an x left over here. So I got to multiply by an x. So take care of the first one. Let's now multiply this times this. These are going to cancel out, leaving with 4 times x minus 3. So I'm going to write that like 4, and then here's my x minus 3. And the final one is to multiply this times this. Now the bottoms perfectly cancel out, so that's a nice clean 12. Nothing left over there. And now you have an easier equation to solve. No variables in the denominator. 3x times x gives you 3x squared. Negative 4 times x gives you negative 4x, but that, make sure you take the negative sign here. Negative 4 times negative 3 will give you a positive 12. And that all equals 12. So to finish solving, first you should recognize this is a quadratic, and the first goal of a quadratic, it's quadratic by the way because it's squared is the highest power. First goal of a quadratic, set it equal to 0. Now that it's set equal to 0, easiest way is to see if you can factor. And in this case you can. You can factor out an x from both of those terms. And when you do that, 3x minus 4 equals 0. If we could just pick a number for x that would make this be 0, 0 times whatever that is will give us a true answer. So write yourself a little equation. 3x minus 4 equals 0. What would x have to be? Just solve for x. Add that 4 to both sides. Divide by 3. X equals 4 over 3. So there's one 0. X equals 4 over 3. And the other 0, we've taken care of this one. The other 0 would be if x equals 0, because 0 would distribute and make everything else be 0. So x equals 0. Those are our two solutions. Now, just one last thing with rational equations. If you think those are zeros, that's great. But you want to go back up to the top and check out your original equation, which was all this mumbo jumbo right here. Let me move that to the side. Okay, and now let's imagine plugging in our answers. 4 over 3, if you plug that into the bottoms here, you don't have a divide by 0 problem. But if you plug in x equals 0 into the bottoms here, right here you would have a divide by 0. X equals 0 actually wasn't in our domain, so we can't say that was a solution. This is the only solution.